What's up, everybody? I'm Matrix Andrea, and today we're continuing our Dark Souls 2 New Game Plus playthrough in the Undead Crypt. So as usual, first my stats, and then my gear, and then we can move on through this place. We're going to do a little bit more than just the Undead Crypt today, so I'll talk about that closer towards the end of the video. As usual with these Cyan Knights, if you can, it's best just to take care of them with a rollback stab if you've got the iframes to go through their attacks. They are blocking the door, though, so you gotta try to get them to move forward so you can get the backstab off on them. And then there's this hollow guy in here that doesn't attack you, but using light in the Undead Crypt is not a good idea because certain NPCs like Agdane will attack you, and you don't want that to happen. So just a cheap troll trick from the developers to kind of fuck with you. The first time I saw one of these guys, I didn't know that they were an enemy. It looked kind of like a wall because of the way those shields look. And I just got lucky that I didn't get hit right there. As usual with some of these armored enemies, they're weak against strike damage, so a mace or a club does a pretty good job against them. And they usually drop Imperious armor. So these ladies over here, they drop the Black Witch's staff, and they cast a lot of hex magic towards you. And I always find it easiest just to shoot them with poison arrows to take care of it, because they're all the way across the room, and you've got hollows getting in your way and just making it difficult to move across. In the original game, on New Game Plus, they put one of those dual shield guys in there to get in your way so that there was no safe way to run past these enemies to go fight the Black Witches on the other side. But Scholar changed that a little bit. Yeah, he used to be standing in front of the stairs over there on the right side, but you can see that he's not there anymore. And this is an NPC. Yeah, Devotee Scarlet. She was present in Earthen Peak, and she helped out there, but I don't need her for the Undead Crypt, so I'm not going to summon her this time. And in here you get Agdane. So you've got all these Grave Warden guys standing here, and if you come in here with a torch lit up, then they all turn hostile. I've never actually done that before, but I've heard people talk about it. So I'm going to edit this part out of the video. Give me just 1 second. Alright, so with Agdane, I used some of my souls to buy some of the Elizabeth mushrooms and some human effigies. And if you talk to him up here, you can summon him during the boss fight, but I find that to be pointless, and I'll just fight the boss in this area on my own. You can drop off here on the left where you see that message on the floor and climb up and find the item that allows you to invade Lycia's world. But I'm not going to do that because she's such a damage sponge that I'm not going to put myself through the hassle. And the second bonfire is right here through this doorway. You got to watch out for the bells, because if the bells ring, there's those gravestones right there with the knights on them. And it summons these mage pyromancer enemies. And you can break those tombstones and they won't regenerate until you reload the area. But I am going to try to just run through and avoid the whole thing. There's a ladder over here in the corner, so we'll go up this way. And then you can drop off the side over here and continue on through the stage. Puts you at less risk, although we're about to get invaded by the nameless usurper. And as usual, with a lot of these NPC invaders from the vanilla game, you can just R1 mash against them and they'll just stand there and take it just like that. And you got ghosts coming out of the wall, so good idea to take care of these guys because there's a couple of those shield knights up ahead and they're blocking the hallway. So when you're running against the wall, you don't want these ghosts taking swings at you. Yeah, I thought there were only 2. I guess there's 3 here. You know, I'm going to see if I can get them to just move out of the way so I can run past them. Because starting from New Game Plus, a lot of these enemies have a lot more health, turn into big-time damage sponges, and it makes it really tough to even bother fighting with certain enemies. Yeah, fuck that. And then you look for the little track, and then you know you're going the right way, so you don't get confused trying to get up out of here. And then you can open up the shortcut straight back to the second bonfire from here. That way if I die I can just warp straight back and not have to worry too much about it. Now Scholar, there used to be a hollow down here in this room, just like there was in the original version of the game, but then there's a hollow around here. And then there's another hollow that spawns up out of the floor here. If you don't kill these guys, they'll ring that bell. And out of every single one of these gravestone areas, of which the name I cannot remember, you'd think that I would, you get those Ladia Pyromancer enemies that attack you. So take the time to make sure you kill those hollows, otherwise you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Now, in the original game, this used to be, I think it was like 7 Cyan Knights. Scholar really fixed that because so many people complained, and rightfully so. There was no way to get around them. They wouldn't move, and you just had to fight through them. If you ran past them, they were going to hit you while you were trying to go through the door, and it was just a huge disaster. And then we have a Dragon Rider here. That's what they replaced all of the Cyan Knights with. So let's take care of him, and then we'll go fight with Velstadt. And then you can also see Agdane's summon sign in the corner over there. And this Dragon Rider is so spongy. I'm hardly doing any damage, and you can see the damage that I have done. It's barely adding up, so this is going to be for just a couple of minutes while I kill him. Oh shit, I didn't see that coming. And one thing I'm going to say about the Souls games is that I rather enjoy playing starting from New Game 7 and the other Souls games, not Dark Souls 2. And one of the main reasons is because Dark Souls 2's difficulty, this isn't even necessarily because of the multi-enemy encounters getting on my nerves. Part of it's got to do with just how spongy the enemies get. And you can see here, yeah, we're near the end of the game, so yeah, the Dragon Rider should have a decent amount of life. But look at how long I've been fighting this guy, and he's still not quite dead. Whereas, you know, in Dark Souls 1, 3, and Demon Souls, and then also with Bloodborne, when you get up to the higher game cycles, you're still doing a decent amount of damage. You take a lot more damage, don't get me wrong, but I'll edit that and cut back ahead to where we are then. Alright, so what I was saying about New Game 7 and the other Souls games is that even though the enemies do tons of damage to you at the highest game cycle, you yourselves do a decent amount of damage to the enemies. So while they might kill you in 4 hits with max health, you'll still kill most of the enemies in 2 or 3 hits yourself. So it makes it a little bit more fair and challenging. Dark Souls 2 makes the enemies spongy, which I understand, it's higher game cycle, but it makes the game beyond tedious to play beyond New Game Plus for me, so that's why I don't bother with it. Alright, and then there's the boss room. So if you're interested, Agdane's sign is right there. But I'm just going to fight on my own and see how I can do against this boss. I don't want to say that I'm going to kick his ass because I'll just jinx myself, but let's just see what happens. Not too bad. The Baneful Bird Ring really helps with that. And let's see, as I've got 5 giant souls, I'm going to go fight with Vendrick. I'm not entirely sure how much damage Dark will do to him on New Game Plus. It did a decent amount on the New Game cycle, but I guess we're about to find out. If he should kill me, I'll come back and try it with lightning, maybe. Oh, and because he's such a fucking damage sponge, I'm going to use a Bright Bug for him. Now, admittedly, it's hard for me to kind of see what I'm doing here because the room is dark, which is part of the reason I just got hit there. I probably would have died if I didn't have the Bright Bug active. Fuck you, Vendrick. He's not a tough boss, he's just a big-time damage sponge. But after you get finished in the Undead Crypt, you get the King's Ring. Now, I said I was going to do something else, but I have to let my computer catch up with the recording so that the recording software doesn't crash, so give me just a sec and then I'll come back to the video and we'll finish up what we're going to finish up in this video. I'll see you guys in just a second. Alright, I'm back. So, I'm in Drangleic Castle and I'm going to go down and fight with the Throne Watcher and the Throne Defender so I can get this fight over with so I won't have to deal with it at the end of the game when you end up getting into the boss gauntlet. Because this is another multi-enemy encounter, I am going to summon the head of Vengarl and also Benhart. Now, I'm not a big fan of this boss fight. I know I've been on a continuous rant about how unfair I think Dark Souls 2 is a lot of times, but I'm not going to pull my punches on this. The Throne Watcher and the Throne Defender. Okay, cool boss. They got great music, I'll give them that. But what's the problem with this boss battle? You're in a room with instant death pits around you. It's wide open. There's no cover so you can hide behind anything. And you're dancing around two big guys that hit for tons of damage. And what's the strategy? You wait until they both finish attacking in wide open space with nothing to hide behind. And you attack them once if you get an opportunity before you have to back off and wait for the both of them to finish attacking again. It's just another poorly designed boss battle. Take Ornstein and Smo from the first game. You're in the cathedral. It's wide open in the middle, sure, but there's pillars on the sides, so you can use the base of the pillars to block either one of them from attacking you. Give yourself some breathing room and, get a chance to fight the battle. But then here you have instant death pits, and it's just open space, and it's just very, very poorly designed. I'm using a +10 halberd. That was the only reason I made it, was for this boss battle. And I've got my 2 distractions because I think this boss battle's cheap, and I'm not going to fight it, by myself. I think it's bullshit, so I'm not going to bother and get myself aggravated. One of the other things that's cheap about this fight is you have to keep both of the bosses even with their health, because if one of them stays down for too long, then the surviving member of the duo will revive his partner to full life. How in the world is that fair? I mostly talk from my higher game cycle experiences. When I did this in New Game 10, before I deleted that whole playlist from my channel, this fight was beyond aggravating for me. Getting to New Game Plus is about the best I'm ever going to do for this. And let's get their healths to about even. Locking on can be a really bad idea because you can't keep an eye on both of them all the time. So we got to take care of the Watcher real fast now, otherwise he'll revive the Throne Defender. But fuck them, they're dead. So however cheap it was, I'm just glad that it's over. Like I said, they got really good music. I love the boss battle music. You walk into this room, you've got these 2 killers walking towards you, and it just screams epic. But then you find out, holy shit, look at this. It's just an open room. You get too far to one side, whoops, you're going to fall off and just instantly kill yourself. And while there's a lot of space to fight in here, I'm not going to pull my punch on it. It's cheap. There's just too many ways to die, and the enemy has way too much of an advantage. It's like getting gangbanged in PvP, except this is PvE, and it shouldn't be that cheap. The other thing I did when I was letting my recording software catch up to what I was doing was I talked to Agdane after the battle with Velstadt, and I got his dark, his equipment. I'm not going to use the dark drift, but his armor set has really high dark defense, and in the next video I'm going to fight with the Dark Lurker. I didn't fight the Dark Lurker in the first game cycle, instead skipping over it, but I'm going to fight it this time, and I'm just going to see how well I can do. So hopefully I do well and I don't embarrass myself. All that said, I think that'll do for today, and I'm going to thank everybody for coming with. Hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see everybody again real soon.